Good day. We will take a look at tools, techniques and methodology of vulnerability assessment in this session. Let us touch on the need for vulnerability assessment. In today's context, new vulnerabilities are discovered every day. It is also getting harder and harder to keep up with it without some form of plan. Failing to address the vulnerabilities have resulted in many large-scale breaches. Hence, to effectively defend against the cyber threats, there is a need for consistent and automated vulnerability management program. To enable effective security defense, it should be designed well right from the start. Hence, there should be security architecture formalized during the design phase. The security architecture should adopt layered defense concept, having multiple layers of defense, like how the ancient city walls are designed. Log everything that is required for security analysis and ensure active monitoring is in place is another key factor to be considered in the security architecture. Good vulnerability assessment should be able to form good stories to get buy-in from the various stakeholders. It will need to come from the threat angle, with scenarios that is realistic and probable. The first step for vulnerability assessment program is to perform engagement planning. It is at this stage that rules of engagement, scope and processes are defined. It should also include the scanning type and scanner architecture as well as duration of scan. Based on the scope defined earlier, this phase will attempt to discover domain names, hosts, IP address of the target. Network mapping using various active and passive methods are carried out during this phase. It should include validation of documentation, network diagrams and open source information. At this stage, there are many tools that can be used to discover the vulnerabilities on the system. Some examples include Nmap, Nicias, Nexpose, Retina, AppSpider, Nikto, Burp Suite and many more other tools. Key consideration of the tool selection will also be based on the intent. Is it for general purpose scanning or application specific? For example, looking at specific tool to scan for WordPress vulnerability. During this stage, attempts to grab the application version, vulnerability and port that are open are carried out. Some vulnerability scanner may not pick up potential issues, hence it is suggested to use tools such as Nmap to discover the version of the application, as this may potentially uncover other vulnerabilities. Further assessment on the application can be carried out using OWASP testing guide, which is based on holistic approach for application testing. Current location of firewall and load balancer should be taken into consideration for placement of scanner, as it will possibly affect the scanning results. The ideal stage of scanning is that it is fully integrated with threat modeling, threat intelligence, comprehensive vulnerability assessments, with vulnerability management and penetration testing. Automation is key for speed and ensuring efficacy in the scanning process. Hence, there should be consistent and repeatable process in the scanning. The tools used should be scriptable, such as command line tools, or the ability to have API calls. There will also be a need for database for correlation and reporting. Finally, there should be metrics defined, as you are not able to improve things without measuring them. After obtaining the scanning result, it is recommended that we conduct validation process. Some exploit may leverage on other vulnerabilities combined to achieve its purpose, and there is also a possibility of false positive, which will require manual checks to confirm. An example is that the scanning tool may report a host is vulnerable to Eternal Blue vulnerability, however SMBV1 is disabled on the host, hence that is a false positive. There is also chance of false negative, which we also hope to uncover during this phase. After analysis of the vulnerability assessment results, we will come to the reporting phase. During this phase, we will write the assessment report and summary for possible larger issues. Typically, it will also include follow-up scan to confirm on remediation performed and closure to the initial report. Thanks for watching, and please like the video so that we will develop further on this topic.